Is there something that separates you guys from homeless people?
Money. Not a high school degree.
I agree with what Michael said, that you could be born into a situation where you can't really get out of it. When you're a kid, if your parents are poor, you're poor. Like, there's no way you could get out of it, especially if you're, like, you can't have a job until you're 16, 17.
They can just be like a bad mother.
Probably.
I don't think that much separates us.
Well, I tell folks that people that come to the soup kitchen in most ways are no different than any of us. If you talk to people and get to know them, they have the same desires in life that we do. Many of them have just caught a break of some sort.
Most of the time when I talk to the people who come in here and I find out, what's your story? About half the time I'm looking at them and I'm going, you know what, I don't know what I would have done differently than you at any point.
Everybody says everybody's equal opportunity today. That's baloney. Everybody doesn't have equal opportunity today. They don't. That's just the way it is structured. It's nobody's fault specifically. That's just the way it is.
But the difference for these kids and the difference for, I guess, the rest of the population is, if you're coming from middle class, if you're coming from money, you can make a few screw-ups in your life. You can go to jail and you're going to get a lawyer and get everything cleared. You can get in a car accident and your health care is going to be taken care of. You can get sick for a few months and you've got a family cushion to take care of you. But any of these events are pretty disastrous if you don't have a family watching your back, if you don't have money, if you don't have insurance. And so these will just lay out flat on the street and really will screw someone's life up for years.
One of the biggest reasons why you'll see people come here is because they don't have the same support system that we would have. Like, when I go out, I'm involved in homeless issues too, right? When I go out and talk to groups in the suburban area about homelessness, first question I usually ask people is, I'll say to the group, so how many of you folks here have adult children living at home with you right now? About half the people raise their hand. So, now, if you weren't here, where do you think they'd be?
It's become harder and harder for people to say that, well, that would never be me. More and more people are looking at their bank accounts and looking at their employment and saying, that could be me. That could be me really easily.
Everybody is a paycheck away if you don't know how to save. Everybody is paycheck away.
What are the circumstances that have caused you to be in a situation where
Penitentiary. I was told at 13 that I was a grown man and go raise myself, so I did. I used my hands to make my money. I didn't rob anybody, but I used my hands to fight for people that had a lot of money that people took from them, so they wanted them to pay for it, so they paid me to go do it. So I spent 23 years of my life in the penitentiary system because of it.
Well, my mom died when I was like 11 years old, and so I was left with my stepdad, and he wasn't the nicest guy in the world, so that was pretty much it. I ran away, and my dad's, drunk, and he didn't really give a shit, so,
It's fine, don't worry.
alright. So, yeah, that was pretty much it. I stayed on the streets after that.
To have our lives fall apart over $1,500 is pretty much, I've already lost everything I owned over the first heart attack at the VA. Lost my house, lost my cars, lost my shop, and I ended up living underneath the freeway down on Northwest Boulevard. And it wasn't for the kindness of Alice taking me in. I had a heart attack a month after I moved into Alice's house. I would have died under the freeway on the ground. Right now, though, I have to face homelessness. I have to face losing our car. I have to face
our electricity being shut off, our phone being shut off, your way of communication.
About 6 years ago, the street involved ran around up here on Capitol Hill, but I got my act together, and this place kind of kicked my butt into gear. So I went to the East Coast for a few years, went to school, got my bachelor's, got my master's, and then I came straight back here to work.
I just couldn't find any support out there, and I was like, I need to do something or I'm going to kill myself. So I just left home, and my mom was going through a divorce, and it was just really not good to be at home. I was doing lots of drugs, I was skipping school all the time. doing lots of stuff that I was not productive, and I couldn't stay focused on any one thing except that I needed to get out of there.
When I was 18, things went downhill with me and my family, so I ended up dropping out of high school and leaving. And I moved around a lot and had troubles. Like, I became stable and then I wasn't, and just up and down. And then I finally got up here to Seattle area, and I came up here. I was kind of in a drug phase back then, and my main goal was to do drugs, which sounds really bad, but that's just my state of mind then.
We had a gentleman come and get food for his family because his wife got sick. They lost that income, and he had to come here and get food for his family of 8 children on a bicycle.